Hi, I'm Robert Resch. Welcome to the Asurface Show, where we share useful information for architects, designers, builders, developers, and industry-related professionals. Back with Daniel Pagano, Director of Wood Operations at Asurface, and Daniel's been showing us the new Asurface Urban Parks Wood Series, and we've talked a lot about the design, construction, why engineered wood, and let's talk a little bit about installation.
Sure.
Is this nailed? Is it glued? How do you install these floors?
Well, it depends on the application of it. The beauty about engineered wood is that it opens up a lot more options when it comes to installation. So, in other words, you can glue down. It can be a glue down installation. It can be a nail or staple down, and it can also be a floating installation where it's pretty common in some other countries, not as common as here, but it's a pretty decent type of installation as well. So in other words, yes, floating. It can be glued down, it can be nailed down, or it can be floating.
Okay.
Floating, in other words, like I said, it's not as common, but basically you just put a line of glue on the tongue, and you put the two pieces together, and they'll pretty much be one. It's almost like one big piece of wood floating on the floor.
Floating floor.
And by the weight and the length and the width of it, I mean, once you install the whole thing, it settles in a way that it looks perfect.
Now, working with a lot of multifamily projects, what are common areas where you're seeing wood being utilized?
Not trying to say that wood can be used anywhere, but there are areas where wood would be a lot more recommended, and areas that one should be concerned. Like I said earlier, on a basement application, for instance, because it's below grade, wood, it's a live thing and reacts like anything else to moisture content, to relative humidity. So on a basement, of course, you're going to have a lot more moisture than on a above grade installation. So one should have a lot of a lot more concern and care for installations on the below grade areas, or anywhere where there's a risk of water being a factor to it.
Sure. You spoke earlier about the dimensional stability of this engineered product. Can it be installed in basements?
Yes, it can.
Yeah.
You definitely can. Like I said, one needs to be careful with the humidity coming from subfloor. There's a lot of failure when it comes to wood that are not necessarily related to the wood itself. Like I said, the worst enemy of wood, any type of wood, solid, engineer, or any type of wood, flooring specifically, is it's moisture, it's water.
Sure.
So you want to make sure that the concrete or the subfloor it's dry. You want to make sure that you have the moisture barrier applied before the installation. So if you do take care of all the variables involving the installation itself and the moisture related conditions, you shouldn't have any problems, especially when it comes to engineer. Engineer will give you a lot more advantage in that segment.
What about, are you seeing wood being utilized on vertical applications?
You mean walls? And
yeah.
Yes, actually, it's a good point, because you see a lot of regular flooring pretty much climbing up the walls nowadays, even on ceiling, and that brings you that. I think it brings a lot more depth into the room, and yes, you can definitely install it on walls. Installation wise is pretty much
furring strips typically on the walls, or
it's very simple, very easy. You can sometimes even glue it up on the wall, straight on to the dry wall, or you put sleepers and you nail to the sleepers as well.
Thanks for watching. If you found this information valuable, click on the link below for your free A-Wood sample binder.